Hey everyone, so for today's video, I wanted to remind everyone and go over the fact that Warframe Digital Extremes was bought out by Tencent like 3-4 years ago now. And to be fair, Tencent actually hasn't really changed too much. I just wanted to talk about this because apparently a lot of people had no idea that Warframe was bought out by Leyou ages ago. And then Leyou was bought out by Tencent ages ago, meaning that Tencent's now the parent company of Digital Extremes. So let's take a look and talk about it because, you know, it's pretty cool. Digital Extremes partners with Tencent, Warframe developer to remain creatively independent with ambitious plans for 2021. And we all remember how all that shenanigans went, and God, Railjack was hilarious, and eventually Warframe got it back together. But this was in December 22nd of 2020, right? Like, dang, COVID times, am I right? Hello, Tenno, crazy year. As we gather our thoughts for end of crazy year, we move into 2021, they'd share what's going on. In 2014, Leyou was purchased majority shares in Digital Extremes. During the 6-year period, we've remained creatively independent. In 2020, Tencent has acquired Leyou, which makes Tencent our new parent company. One of our core pillars is transparency, so we'd like to let you all know what it means. We will remain creatively independent. We expect no changes to Warframe or how our studio operates, and we will remain as dedicated to you as ever, the community who's ever been with us for every step of the way, launched in Warframe. For additional questions, read the FAQ. So now that it's been like 4 or 5 years, I'd like to say Warframe, for the most part, it's been good, right? Like, they haven't been insanely wrecked by Tencent by any means, but people are saying that, you know, one of the issues when Tencent took over was a certain Heirloom skin, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll talk about that after. Who is Tencent? Tencent Holdings Limited, leading provider internet value. Okay, so they're a big, huge corporation in China, like 500,000 people working under them, massive business in the games industry, known in online game sector, partnering with game companies such as Riot Games, Supercell, Epic Games, amongst others. Yeah, they own and have their hands in essentially every possible cookie jar, but we'll go over that after. Will Digital Extremes still independently operate Warframe? Yes, they say remaining creatively independent, and for the most part, it seems like that is true. Maybe not 100%, but for the most part. They said it's pretty much them. They keep reiterating, no, we aren't going to be changing things because of Tencent. And this was so funny because of Corpus Railjack. We're forging on ahead. People didn't really like Railjack too much. And then will the Chinese version get better or faster updates than Warframe in the West? It's like, no, they're behind Warframe in the West. We want to bring it up to parity though. So that was the big situation with Warframe being sold to Tencent 4 or so years ago. They've been under Tencent now for 4 years. And with that, there was one situation where people thought, is this because of Tencent? And that was the Warframe 10-year anniversary Heirloom Mag and Frost set. The issue about this skin set, they're beautiful, but people are saying that maybe this was a Tencent move because this was a one-time sold Mag, one-time sold Frost Heirloom set. And as we know now, all of the Heirloom sets are sold forever in the shop, but these you can never get again in Warframe. And they're like Excalibur Prime, never coming back to the game, impossible to get. So unfortunate. Available now for a limited time. So a lot of people love to say, like, that was this a big Tencent move for them to get more money? Who knows, but that was like the big meme conspiracy. Either way, everyone was pissed off and they got flamed hard for their expensive skins. If we go on over to Wikipedia here, we can see a little bit of more info. Canadian developer, Digital Extremes, 1993 founded by James Schmalz, best known for Warframe, free-to-play, co-creating Epic Games' Unreal series of games. Headquartered in London, Ontario. In 2014, 61% of Warframe was sold to, Digital Extremes, was sold to Chinese holding company Multidynamic, now Leyou, for $73 million. In May 2016, Leyou exercised a call option and increased their stake to 97% of Digital Extremes for a total consideration of $138 million. In December 2020, Tencent bought Leyou for $1.3 billion, which included the majority stake in Digital Extremes that Leyou held. So what that means is Tencent owns 97% Digital Extremes shares. Now, who knows how the shares are fully allocated and set up, because, dear Lord, there's so many different ways that could be work. They could be purely like non-voting. They could be just purely, oh God, what, like non-action-based shares? Who knows? I can't remember what all the real classifications are, but business shenanigans really sucks. So there's a whole bunch of history back here. Back in when they were acquired by Tencent, better support. In 2023, James Schmal stepped down CEO, and then Steve Sinclair promoted to CEO. Rebecca Ford became new director, right? And, oh yeah, and they also terminated their partnership with Airship Syndicate, returning Wayfinder to their control after they laid off 30 people. So yeah. Interesting times the last handful of years for Digital Extremes, but that's all we know about them. Leyou was a company that was founded in Hong Kong, and this was the previous owner of Warframe Digital Extremes. And they were like a chicken company. A poultry-based income started to fall in 2013. So they were a chicken company that branched off into games, which is absolutely wild to me. Like, how are you a chicken company and you're like, you know what? Poultry, get out of here. Chicken, no. What we need, games. And they have other games, like they have Athlon, Digital Extremes, Splash Damage. So they have other ones, like creator of Wolfenstein. Which one is that? Thanks. Okay, there we go. Wolfenstein Enemy Territory Quake Wars, right? Ooh, Splash Damage. Athlon Games, who do they make? Okay, SNK's weapon-based, Samurai Showdown, etc. Okay, so these are other game companies that they all eventually bought out. Took them a while, it looks like, but hey. And now the current owners of Digital Extremes. Bum, bum, bum. Tencent, everybody. They were also only founded 26 years ago, but they are worth 609 billion, which is 86 billion US of revenue in 2023. That's not their like worth. Their worth is their total equity, if we're going to look at it like that. 123 billion, 2023. Dang, that's insane. A lot of owners. Naspers, okay, is the main company that owns them, right? Because, of course, people don't own companies. Companies own companies that 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 own companies. So that's also very important to remember. Bajillion divisions, music, entertainment, pictures of video games, list of video game companies, subsidiaries. There's probably a lot. Okay, so wholly owned is Leyou, Athlon, Digital Extremes, Splash Damage. Yeah, fully owned by Tencent. Not even like a little bit, just wholly owned. That's so funny. So Tencent is everywhere, okay? There's so much money. Just, oh my God, so much money in Tencent. Okay, they only have 105,000 employees. I thought they were at like 500,000 or something crazy. But that doesn't include the company's employees that they bought out, right? So it's weird how this all works. Am I right? Let's go down the list. They own Funcom, Leyou, Riot Games, Sumo Group, Grinding Gear Games, ooh, Path of Exile, Visual Arts, Turtle Rock Studio. Oh yeah, they wholly own Grinding Gear Games, huh? I knew they bought out Tencent ages ago, though. Riot Games ages ago. Okay. Mini Clip! Yeah, Mini Clip. I remember that. Okay, Tequila Works. There's so many games here. Shift Up, Epic Games, Ubisoft. And these are like all partial ownerships, right? Bloober Team, Marvelous, C Limited, Netmarble. Okay. From Software, 16%. Nice, good soul stuff. Remedy Entertainment, Crafton, Kakao, Paradox, Frontier, Kanawa Corporation. Oof, like they have their hand in so many cookie jars. And half of these ones are all majority. These ones are wholly owned. And then these ones are all like partial stakes, more minimal, but still a lot. Former foreign stakes, they're previously in everybody. Domestic investments all over the place. Virtual reality, healthcare, data processing, accessibilities. Look at all of it. So, the TLDR I wanted to say is, yeah, Warframe's been owned by Tencent for like a long time. It realistically doesn't make a huge difference. Everything's just kind of business, but it makes sense, I guess, with Warframe having a separate standalone China client and everything. It maybe helps things like that. Now that I think their client is more up to parity with the rest of Warframe and it's all kind of up to date with each other. I could be wrong, but that's just how business goes. Everyone is owned by a massive company in a random country somewhere here and there, and that's just how it is. That's just how it is. So Tencent Holdings, Chinese. It's a Chinese multinational technology conglomerate and holdings company, headquartered in Shenzhen. And it is also the world's largest company in the video game industry based on its equity investments. So no shock that the biggest company ends up buying and picking up Warframe Digital Extremes. So does it matter? No, it's more so just fun, interesting history of Warframe Digital Extremes, and I wanted to talk about it since a lot of people have no idea that Warframe is essentially in the hands of, outside of themselves. Yeah, they're owned by and in the hands of Tencent, which none of that really matters a ton at the end of the day as players for us, unless some shenanigans goes on and we one day hear about it. But as for now, like, it's been 4 years, game's still good, game's still chill, and Warframe always like goofs and then does good updates. Like, they have their ups and their downs. Railjack, call missions, those were the downs. Latest like updates and Duviri with Warframe 1999, I'd say those are the ups. Like, it's been pretty good updates as of late. 2020 to 2022 were kind of slow couple of years in Warframe. But hey, it is what it is. Either way, let me know what you thought of that, everybody. I just had random Warframe VODs going in the background. Let me know what you think. And as always, if you appreciated the video, sub, like, use Epic Games creator code Pupsker. You can check out the Pupsker VODs Twitch channel or Pupsker Twitch channel for when I feel like streaming. And who knows when shenanigans are going to go down. We're just kind of waiting until Isle Weaver, and until then, we're hanging out. So thank you all for being here. Cheers.